So at the beginning of this workout, the first exercise is what I'm calling a lying range exploration. So we're laying on our back. This is going to unload our knee. We're going to pull the thigh towards the chest, put us in hip flexion here. And from here, I'm going to keep my ankle dorsiflexed, so nice and straight. I'm looking to target the hamstring here, so I'm going to stay in dorsiflexion with my ankle. And with that thigh pulled towards the chest, I'm just exploring the full range of my knee joint and just thinking about if there's any sticking points, if anything's causing any pain, any issues throughout that range before I get into my workout. So this is going to kind of just put me more in tune with the knee, so I kind of know everything that's going on with it before I start impacting it with this workout I'm about to do. This is addressing knee ability with a symptom of pain behind the knee. A lot of times this is caused by the hamstring connecting to the tibia and the calf connecting to the femur. These are kind of woven around each other in this connection behind the knee. So any sort of inflammation back there can cause pain and disruption at that connection site. So this is kind of putting everything through a cycle of movement just to get the blood flowing, just to focus in on that joint specifically, to make sure there's nothing I don't know about going on. You know, I don't want to get into this workout and have something unexpected occur. You know, prior in my knee journey, I would get to about 90 degrees here, and then everything below 90 would cause pain. So we don't want to work through pain. I would go up to that pain wall and stop. Wherever it would start to hurt, that's where I'm stopping. So this is kind of allowing you to explore that range unloaded. It's totally safe. If something causes pain, you can just push out of it. There's no way that I'm gonna overload my knee joint doing this. That's why I'm laying on my back and unloading the knee, and I'm exploring the range completely safely. After the sled, we're moving to the lower leg, starting with ankle extension and the FHL Calf Raise. We're going to do 15 reps per side. So 1 foot at a time here, unilateral. With this workout, we're supersetting the lower leg, so ankle extension to ankle flexion, back to ankle extension again, and then to ankle flexion again. So for ankle flexion, I'm using a tibialis raise, and we're going unilateral again here. I keep a towel in my bag just for this. If you got shoes on, it's not so bad, but I like to do lower leg with shoes off, just so I know that I'm not hindered in my range of motion by a shoe or a heel on the, you know, whatever it might be. Just going barefoot with the lower leg. I like to sit in this lengthened position for a second. Just let that tibialis muscle stretch out as much as possible before we start using it. Just get a nice deep stretch there. This is also kind of passively affecting my ankle mobility, extending it into that lengthened position like that, pulling it into the bottom of its range there. Slow eccentrics. And make sure we're pausing in the top with the squeeze and then pausing again in the bottom. Just about a 1 second pause in each side. It's kind of passively affecting our ankle mobility, but it's also just emphasizing that contraction there in the tibialis muscle. 15 of these per side. "15 reps each side." Now we're on to the seated calf raise. With the seated calf, I try to work right around 50% body weight. This one is 25 reps, which is a lot. Here we go. Oh boy. And then we're right back to the tib for our last set of ankle flexion here. Shoes still off. And going back and forth between the ankle flexion and the ankle extension, we're also utilizing a thing called reciprocal inhibition, where in order for one side of a muscle to contract, the other side has to relax. So working both sides of the same joint, kind of back and forth, is naturally extending the range of each exercise because we're lengthening the muscle that's inhibiting its opposite, the set before that. I completely lost count here. Gotta be somewhere around 10. Woo. All right, that cashes out the lower leg. Next thing we're gonna do is a little knee flossing. This is a floss band. ATG makes these. There's various sizes, thicknesses. This is medium thickness, medium width, and I'm just wrapping above the knee. Not wrapping super tight, moderate tightness, covering about half of the previous layer with each new layer. The nice thing about the floss bands, you don't need any tape or anything with them. They stick to themselves. So when you get to the end, you just tuck it underneath here, and you're ready to go. With this one, we're gonna do 15 VMOs. So it's bilateral, we're using both legs. And just kind of working that range slowly deeper each rep until you get to full range there. Once we get 15 there, I'm gonna target it unilaterally a little bit here also with the split squat. Nice and slow into that lower range. And again, not working through pain. If you're getting any pain in this, just use the assistance as needed to keep you above that pain wall. And I'm just kind of pulsing this lower range because I'm trying to mess with that pressure in there. So anywhere right around 10, 15 reps, but that's good. Then we're just popping that off. And it's the release that's reinitiating that blood flow. It's rushing back through there. Blood's carrying all the nutrients and everything into that joint capsule, replenishing that synovial fluid, all that good stuff. So floss band's super helpful for warming up. So after the floss band, we're going with a short range knee extension. This is a Poliquin Step. I'm using a wedge under my heel, and I'm working off a flat ground because I want to minimize the amount of pressure that I'm applying with this movement, and I'm only doing 7 reps here. This video is guest starring Physical Freedom Guy, who happens to be working out at the same time as me. All good. I appreciate the company. I like to do all of my leg curls unilaterally. I'm doing 6 sets of 6, 3 of which toes out, 3 of which toes straight, and we're staying dorsiflex this whole time. Remember, in plantar flexion, that's activating my calf to flex the knee. So I want to stay in dorsiflexion, so I'm using my hamstring. Starting out dorsiflex, toes straight. Emphasizing the eccentric side. 4 seconds on the way down. Nice pause on the bottom and at the top, just to make sure we're reaching full length there. So for the toes out leg curl, we're targeting the outer sweep of the hamstring muscle here, and again attacking these unilaterally. So all I'm doing is pointing my toe from forward outward, and I'm holding it there in that position throughout the full rep. You might notice my right side's a little weaker than my left side. Things are a lot easier on the left for me than the right. Due to an ACL injury a long time ago, they took a piece of my right hamstring to replace my ACL, so that one's always been a little weaker. Working on it. And working unilaterally is going to help me kind of even out that imbalance as well. That's why I always do leg curls unilaterally, because there's really no way of knowing which side is pulling harder or if one side is pulling harder or not. So working one side at a time is the only guarantee with that. Now we're moving on to the split squat, or we're working more long range tension here. So weak side first, as always. We're doing 4 sets of 4 with a 4-4-0 tempo. So we're going down for 4 seconds, pausing for 4 seconds in the bottom, and then coming back up for another 4 seconds, and then immediately coming back down into that second rep. So it's a nice smooth progression into each rep. There's no real pausing at any point, so it's constant tension for 4 reps with 12 seconds of tension in each rep. So we're actually getting a lot of tension in that knee, and we're elevated, so it's nice and regressed. It's not going to be causing problems if your ability is lower and you're working on that. This is good for kind of acclimating to pressure. So here we go. Remember, with the split squat, shoulders over hips, full knee flexion, back leg stays active. Now with this one, we want to reach full flexion in that 4 seconds. So This is going to require more control out of the muscles. We're going to be holding tension in the muscles for longer than normal. My count's a little off there. Okay, 4 sets, 4 reps per set, 4-second eccentric, 4-second hold in the bottom, 4-second concentric. No pause at the top. After the long range knee extension with the split squat, now we're working a little long range hip extension, Romanian deadlift, targeting the hamstring muscle again. With the Romanian deadlift, I'm thinking about keeping my back arched at all times. We're training the arch back position here. Hands close to my legs. And my knees are going to stay behind my ankles. Watch. Finish off this workout. We're going with hip flexion here with an L sit in a regress form. Using the parallel bars, arms locked out. We're working one side at a time. Nice even reps. 2 sets, 20 per side. Take a little break, shake the arms out in between. That's it.